This is my game in the last devlog. This is my game now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the second devlog for my Cozy Flight game. Well, I won't be calling it that anymore, right Greg? Exactly, from now on the game officially has a name. Go on Greg, come on, don't be shy, just tell them the name. Come on, say it. Say it.
Greg the glider!
Thank you Greg. Well, as you can see, he's a little camera shy, probably because the last devlog hit over 5k views. So basically that means over 5,000 people have seen Greg's butt. Sorry Greg. If you're new here and want to check that out, along with some juicy development details, go watch the first devlog. Trust me, it's worth it. Speaking of the last devlog, I asked you guys for ideas on how to improve the game, and you guys delivered. The ideas you shared were incredible, and I'm so grateful for the feedback, so thank you. I have actually implemented a lot of them into the game, and I can't wait to show you everything that I've worked on so far. So let's dive into all the exciting updates. But before the exciting updates, Greg got some good news. Don't you Greg? Greg? Hello? Where have you gone, buddy? I'm not going to spend the entire— Oh, I know where Greg is at. Here he is. I knew it. I knew that he will be hiding in the official game page that you guys can go check. Link in the description and you can easily add it to your collection. So if you want to help a fellow solo game developer, go check that page. Add the game to your collection, and when I finally release the game, you will be among the first who will get their hands on it. Also, I got another major announcement. I'll let Greg do this one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the game is going to be free to play!
Exactly, you heard that right. This cute little adventure game is going to be free to play.
Nothing in life is free.
Alright, Mark, you exposed us. You, get out from behind the curtains.
Huh?
Since this is my first official game, I want as many people as possible to experience it, and that's the reason why it's free. However, if you'd like to support my work, I will be accepting donations. To make that easy, I've set up a Ko-Fi? Lo-Fi? Well, the logo is a mug, so I assume it's coffee. I set up a coffee account where you guys can contribute to my projects. Well, as for right now, I'm running a $250 donation goal to hire a music composer for the game, because I'm planning to release a trailer very soon. So as a thank you for your support, any donations over $5 will have your name included in the game's credits. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if you guys can support me. If not, it's okay. Thank you so much, and yeah. So after coming up with the game concept and setting the basic mechanics for my game, I've been working on polishing the level. Since I wanted my game to be inside a child's bedroom, I started off by designing the room. So for inspiration purposes, I used references from movies and games that I personally love. So I wanted the room to be 2 floors and the ceiling to be triangular.
You mean an attic?
Shut up, Greg. When it comes to my game, I had one clear goal: to make everything as original as possible. That's why I modeled every single asset by hand. Yes, every single one you see here. From the big pieces like the window, bed, desk, ladder, couch, TV stand, door, heater, closet, table, to the smallest details like the Lego buildings, clock, train railing, hoop, music box, dollhouse, and even the socks. It took me a full week of non-stop designing to bring everything to life, and after all that effort, I was left with this. Once everything was modeled, I organized it all into separate collections to keep things tidy. Then came to the fun part, exporting everything to Unity, piece by piece, one by one, one by one, one by one. Oh, and let's not forget about the textures. So I created all those textures from scratch, which, believe it or not, was my favorite part of the process so far. It felt like all those elementary school art classes were finally paying off. Here are some game assets that I made. Well, I spent over a week working on this every day. Well, not every day. I do have a life outside of my man cave too. So after exporting the entire level to Unity, including the textures, I wanted to work on the lights because as much as I love working on Unity, the default scene lighting is Trash. Honestly, I don't have other words for it. So, for the lighting, I wanted the room to have an atmospheric vibe, something that would feel like a warm hug. To achieve this, I focused on warm lighting tones. Initially, I intended to use only a single directional light, representing the sun as the primary light source. However, the room felt too dark.
I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
So I added several point lights to brighten specific areas and add depth in the scene. To make it even better, I worked with a particle system. I made this dust effect along with some God rays streaming through the window to make the space feel more dynamic and alive. If you recall from my first devlog, I initially used the wind effect for the game. However, after building the level, I realized it didn't quite fit with the room's ambience. So I decided to replace it with this more fitting effect. Side note, I added a realistic flame effect to this small candle in the room, which really enhanced the warmth and the coziness of the environment. To improve the overall feel of the game, I drew inspiration from feedback in the comments. For instance, Neat Games suggested that it might be cool if the pilot leaned when turning and diving. And yeah, I implemented that and the game immediately started to feel much better. It just brought Greg to life. Also, Name is Monkey came up with this very cool suggestion that also added a lot to the game feel. They suggested that I should make the camera field of view depend on the player's speed. Very cool idea indeed. So I implemented that in my game, and now when I speed, the camera FOV will increase dependingly. I also had a few suggestions about the speed that depends on the angle of the plane, and honestly I love this idea. However, I don't think it would fit with the mechanics I had in mind, and it would add more complexity to the movement.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
But again, thank you for the idea. And finally, I had a lot of complaints about the plane sound. Well, by a lot I mean my brother and 2 people in the comments and me. Yes, I admit it, I wasn't a huge fan of the fan noise in the beginning. So instead, I replaced it with this sound. Additionally, Todd suggested that the pitch can vary depending on the speed, so I implemented that as well. So yeah, thank you to every person who commented on the last video, and I would really appreciate it if you guys can suggest me more features or mechanics or anything that would improve the game. To make the game feel more alive, I wanted to implement some ambient sound. I got some bird sound from YouTube along with some kids playing in the backyard. And of course, there is a ceiling fan that I forgot to mention, so I added the sound to that as well. And finally, I added some objects in the room that the player have to pick and place them in their place. I added 11 objects that I randomly put in the room, and that's how the game looks so far. As you can see, every time I hit an object, the plane movement goes insane. So in the next devlogs, I will be working on the game loop. Add a checklist of items that the player should pick, the HUD, the menu interface, and of course, a soundtrack. If you want to support this project, you can help me reach my goal on Ko-fi. Another way to help me is by adding the game to your collection on itch.io. And of course, commenting new suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next devlog.